it's me, Code. Have you ever wanted to make paper cranes? Are you unable to make paper cranes? Do you hate every single other tutorial out there? Well, you've come to the right place because I enjoy making cranes. And then I have just a few cranes. You know, just a few cranes. I have 2 boxes because I need a lot of cranes. I have the credibility to tell you how to make cranes. I'm gonna show you how to make the cool cranes because they're better, because they have little feet and they're more structurally sound. And compare them to the easy crane. You see how not structurally sound this is? Exactly. And you want it to look majestic, wonderful. You want to impress your friends. This is how you impress your friends. Okay, first thing you need to make paper cranes is paper, specifically square paper. If you have rectangular paper and not square paper, fix that. Anyways, now that you have square paper, you can take your square paper, because what other kind of paper are you going to take other than the square paper? Then you take a corner, put it to the other corner, to make a diagonal fold. Also, sorry if it's blurry, I'm literally filming this with a phone. Try and line it up the best you can. If you can hear me breathing, sorry about that, I have breathing difficulties. Okay, you now have a triangle. Now, you unfold said triangle. Again, sorry about the blurriness. It doesn't like focusing. Now, you take the opposite corner, and then you fold it again, and try and line everything up. Remember to crease. You now have an X. You see how it's like these things, the divots? That's called a valley fold. You want to fix that by turning it over. Now they're little mountains. You see they look like mountain ranges? Excellent. Now, on this side, you take these. I know, very descriptive. You take the little tops and you put them together like you did the other time, but not diagonally. Horizontally, if you will. And then you open it and do it on the other side. Remember to crease. Now, it should look like an asterisk, or a plus sign with a cross in it. Now, this part stumped me for a bit, so I might go slower here. You take one of these, a square, you see how it's square? Do not take one of these. That's not how you make a crane. You take this specifically. Now, if you did this correctly and you turn the paper, you should see that it wants to come up and look like a little flower. You're going to take advantage of that. You're going to take these little corners, you're going to fold them in, and you're going to line them up with the little tip here. Now, you should have this big cavity. You see what I'm doing is I'm making sure that it's nice and round here. You have this, and you push it down, you make sure that the tip is lined up with the things, and then you crease it. I messed up that crease. Now they have a square like this. Remember to see this part that opens up rather than this part that doesn't, because it looks like an X. You go, and then you go to this part, specifically this part. I can't see, I'm so sorry. You take one of these little corners, and then you fold it inwards into the center, following the crease line. I typically do it to the side because it's easier for me to see. So it should be like this. You should, if the corner doesn't line up, you can just take the little piece here and line it up and just, keep adjusting until it's like, correct. Then you take the other side. Oh yeah, make sure that that's there. You take the top piece, so there's the bottom piece, because that's how paper works. And you take the other side, and then you line it up with the crease, but now you have this. You want to kind of line it up like that structurally, so it's, nice and uniform. You want to try and get the tip nice and pointy. If you're wondering why it looks like that, I don't know. I messed up somewhere, but we move on. You flip it over, you do the other side again, on the part that opens up, not the part that doesn't. Then you fold those in. Also, if there's editing with this, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Just ignore the jumps because it's just to make it less boring. Now you have this. So you have this little diamond thing. You have this square. You have these. You fold the square down and try and center it into the little crease part because that's what I do. And you unfold it. You should now have a crease in your triangle. And you open up this up. I know you just folded these. You're gonna have to trust me on this though. Now, you open this part. Okay? Bear with me here. You see this crease? You open this and make sure the creases like that. Now it looks like a kind of chair. Now, you wanna push it backwards and just fix all the little creaks and kinks because that'll rip the paper. Then you fold these inwards, and if it starts complaining, you just shape it into submission. You should now have a larger diamond. Now you do it on the other side. Okay, you now have 2 diamonds. You see this, and you can see one part opens up like that. The other part is a loser and likes to keep its secrets. You take one of these, and like you did before to make them like this, you take one of these pieces, then you fold it inwards into the little crease part. Let's try and line it all up. This is going to be harder because it's smaller. Just try your best. Then you crease it. Do it on the other side. You crease it. Then you flip it. Then do it on this side too. Okay. It should now look like this. Now, you turn it to the side. You see this part between these 2 sides? You're gonna open that on both sides. You're gonna push in this part because otherwise it's gonna be a bitch. Push these in because they're gonna fight you. Then you... God, this one's actually desperately fighting me. And then you press it like that. You can crease these. I'm not gonna do that. Those are gonna be the wings. So then you take this. There should be a little crease here already. You line it up. If it looks bad like this, sorry. You do it on both sides. And then you do the freaky fold thing again. You take it from the side. You see these little 2 things? You take this corner, and you take it on the other side. Then you fold them in. I'm gonna show you how I keep these kind of, like so, because you want to fold these in. And you kind of, like, put it into the center, sort of, to make sure it folds the way you want it to. Sometimes you gotta put your finger in there so it folds properly. This one's not gonna fold properly, but that's okay. We survive. Now that you have this, you lay it down, and you take the wing and you roll it downwards. It's gonna only let you pull it down so much because this triangle part, as you can see, the first one doesn't really matter. What you want to do for the second one though is line it up with the first one. So it's, nice and uniform. Now you have this. I know I messed up here, and what I like to do is on the part that I messed up, I turn that into the head. So what you do is you bend it, typically not this far. We'll do it like from here or whatever. And then, since you have a little crease, you put that little crease in, so that way it kind of folds in on itself. Then you take these little pieces, You pinch them together. I know it looks like it has a proboscis. I'm usually better at this. We all make mistakes sometimes. Now, you take this, then you unfold it kind of. You see it deforming. Then now you press down to keep it there. You do it on the other side. You have now made a crane. Congratulations! Now, like all good things, making good cranes takes practice. As you can see, I've had a lot of practice. You're gonna mess up your first few cranes, especially if you've never made cranes before. Because I used to do the easy one. Oh, that's breaking. I used to do only the easy type of cranes, and learning how to do, the good kinds of cranes took me a bit. I had to rewatch the tutorial I was watching quite a few times, because I can't learn through images. Hopefully, this was a lot less confusing, and you struggled a lot less figuring things out than I did when I first started making cranes. Hope you enjoyed. Bye guys.